Hello from the Summit on Legal Innovation and Disruption East 2018 in New York City. I'm Abby Rosenbloom.
Bob Taylor.
I'm Jeff Marple.
And we're on the road with Legal Talk Network. And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us on the road. It's a pleasure to be here. Today we're talking with in-house professionals about their views of Solid and the conference and the communication between law firms, in-house counsel, and service providers. So first, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Bob Taylor. I'm at Liberty Mutual, and I've been there for the majority of my career. I'm currently in a legal operations role, leading a team called Legal Ideation and Transformation.
My name is Jeff Marple. I'm also at Liberty Mutual. I'm the Director of Innovation within Liberty Legal. I work on Bob's Ideation and Transformation team.
So what were your impressions of the speakers so far today?
So the speakers this morning were fantastic. I particularly liked the talk this morning around the Big Four and the fact that they are coming for the legal ecosystem here in the United States and what kind of disruption that's going to cause. And quite frankly, from an in-house perspective, we welcome that disruption and kind of find it very interesting. And we're looking to see what the future might hold.
Agree with everything you said, Bob. I also enjoyed what Bobby from HBR was talking about how in-house is changing sort of the makeup of the work that they do in-house versus out, sort of mirrors a lot of the things that we've been thinking about. Any
particular soundbite resonate with you?
Well, at my particular table, there was a gentleman, I won't mention names or firms, but was saying, is this the end of the legal guild, right? Is this the beginning of the end of really the legal guild and the kind of protectionist system that we've set up for ourselves here in the United States as lawyers? And I just thought that was a very interesting statement.
Explain that to me a little bit more.
I think what they're seeing is all kinds of challenges from other types of service providers, and that the traditional law firm method of service delivery just needs to change, and that there's no longer going to be these protections for lawyers and being able to be the only way to get your legal matters handled from here on out.
I found the projection that there is going to be $55 billion in ALSP market by 2025 to be surprising, and that we're only at about $2 billion right now. That made me think that probably there's more work in-house that I need to take a look at that might be able to go that way.
So can you tell me a little bit about your table discussions? I know, Bob, you mentioned a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I did. One of the things that we talked about, we had a mix of in-house counsel and law firms at our table. And we talked about how if you really want to be a differentiator as a law firm with in-house buyers, start talking to us about what you're doing to lower the overall cost of legal delivery in your firm and how you can be more competitive, rather than trying to talk about, your expertise and the pedigree of your firms and things like that, that we thought that was very important. We were also talking to them about the importance of making sure that they have a really great understanding of the metrics of their outcomes and how they operate, because we're going to be looking for those metrics and being able to evaluate them. So we had a good conversation about that.
How important do you think it is what software they're using?
I don't think that we're really in need of having them adopt any particular type of software. I think we're kind of agnostic when it comes to that. There are some tools that we might have adopted in-house, and we obviously want those tools to be able to talk to each other and play nice together, but I don't think that we're looking to push any particular solution on a firm.
Yeah, so I would say the same thing. So if you're going to compete in that market, you're going to have to use the best tools available. So it almost doesn't matter to us what they're using as long as they're using and that they are able to stay competitive with price.
So co-creation seems to be a really big theme of discussions with the corporate counsel talking with the software companies and trying to adapt and adopt new technology with or without their law firms. Is that something that you're seeing?
So I think we're interested in co-development. I guess from this perspective, we want these service providers or technology companies to be solving for actual pain points. Don't be a solution, right? Looking for a problem. Kind of come to us and really understand what our business is about and what we're trying to solve, and then see if you can overlay those tools onto that particular problem set. For us, the way we look at it is if we can co-develop with you with a problem that is facing us and that's important to us, it's more likely that others are having that same issue. So I'd love to see more service providers trying to co-create or co-develop product offerings with us.
So twice a year we hold a vendor day at Liberty where we take a handful of vendors, probably 2 to 4, usually non-competing vendors, and have them come in and present to the larger legal department. We invite in senior leadership, including the CLO and his directs, and then thought leaders throughout the org. The idea here is to expose them to some of the different solutions that are out there. So it's not just us bringing them up a product; it's them understanding what the product can do and seeing if it's a fit with their use case. That's one of the ways that we start to sort of generate that conversation. I don't know if it's as formal as a questionnaire. It's often a conversation and sort of casual conversations, even water cooler type conversations that start to sort of generate the idea, and then it can become more formal as you sort of start to understand the requirements and the need, and then what the capabilities of the provider are.
So tell me, why Solid? Why did you come? What do you hope to learn?
So if other conferences or blog posts, Solid is tweets. So you're sort of exposed to a multitude of ideas, from different disciplines in short chunks, so that I can, in a day, really get my finger on the pulse of many different aspects of what's going on out there. And that's probably the biggest reason that I come to Solid, is to really understand what are the trends that are happening out there, and what am I missing, and what am I doing right or wrong.
I think Solid is the unconference conference, meaning that it's one of those places where you can have a solid exchange of ideas and understand, solid, right? And see what I just did there? Yeah. Right. So that we can have an exchange of ideas. But really what it is, you get a multitude of interesting speakers, rapid fire. If something resonates from you, there's plenty of room for you to be able to connect with those speakers. So, kind of on a more altruistic basis, we're here to share what we've learned and also participate in this change. But selfishly, I'm here to grab a couple of new ideas and take hold of them and go back and try them and see if they fit within our operation.
Before we close it out for today, I have one last question for you. If our listeners would like to follow you, what's the best way?
So I'm Bob Taylor. I'm on LinkedIn. Easy to find, and that's where you can find me.
Same here, Jeff Marple on LinkedIn. You can look me up.
Well, we've reached the end of the road for today's episode. I want to thank our guests for joining us today. We also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please rate us in Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time for another episode of On the Road with Legal Talk Network.
If you'd like more information about what you've heard today, please visit LegalTalkNetwork.com. Subscribe via iTunes and RSS. Find us on Twitter and Facebook, or download our free Legal Talk Network app in Google Play and iTunes. The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer.